Hello again, guys. Welcome. It's me again, DNK Cafe, Dank. You can call me either one of those names. We are going to be playing Crystal Beans from Dungeon Explorer. So, as I mentioned in the previous run, this is basically Dungeon Explorer 2 Lite. The story of this game, it is changed over a little bit from Dungeon Explorer 2. I have to collect the 15 gems that are being held by 15 monsters that will give me the crystal bean and grow the crystal bean stuff. Like, it's bad. The story of Dungeon Explorer 2 is a little bit better. The kingdom that I had just saved, they went 100 years of prosperity when Natas was resurrected. That's what I'm going to try to illustrate while I'm doing this run. I do want to apologize to Crystal Beans because it's a fun game. But when you're used to Dungeon Explorer 2 and you try to go into this, you realize just how watered down it really can be. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into Crystal Beans. And we're gonna push start here. Typically in a run, if you guys were to learn this game, at the push start menu, that's when you're gonna start the timer. I'm gonna push this a little bit later, so this is not an SRC viable run, which is fine. We're gonna select our character, and from there, that's where I'm gonna start the timer. So 3, 2, 1, and go. So the king is telling me that I have to collect the 15 gems, the aforementioned 15 gems. And right, let's just let's head on our way. Now, this first dungeon is the same, essentially, first dungeon as Dungeon Explorer 2. A mechanic of this game, and I tried to do it a little bit in Dungeon Explorer 1, is if you hit the attack button, if you hit the fire button for just like off frame, then your movement does not stop. It will, usually when you hit the fire button, your movement kind of pauses while you're firing out your weapon, and that just is not a good way to save time. That's not how you go fast. So we're just going to fire as quickly as possible by using that frame rule, and try to save some time. This game, as opposed to Dungeon Explorer, I don't really care about white or black magic. They do almost nothing. White magic will heal me, and that's nice, but it doesn't heal for all that much. And the black magic is just like a screen clear, but it's not a good screen clear. I have to build my intelligence to be able to actually do decent damage to monsters. So white and black magic, we don't care about that here. We don't care about those boots upgrades that I was picking up, the axe upgrades I was picking up. None of those items do anything other than actually temporarily, granting me a stat bonus. It is not at all linked to whether or not I take a death in-game. There's going to be plenty of deaths in this one. There's several death warps that I will take. So this is a little bit different, a little bit of a different approach than how I would play Dungeon Explorer or Dungeon Explorer 2. I'm going to grab that heart. The heart is nice because it does increase my HP. I'm going to take this game fairly safe. There's a few choke points in here that it's easy to take a little bit too much damage and then get yourself into trouble. I do have, as I mentioned, some spots where I take death abuses, but they're very specific, and I don't want to take any unnecessary deaths. Everything's planned. One big variation between this game and Dungeon Explorer 2 is in Dungeon Explorer 2, you're free, much like the first one, you're free to like wander the countryside and you have to find your own way around. In this, it's just you select a point on a map and you fast travel the entire game. So, little disappointing in that way, but it does make things a little bit more straightforward, a little bit more streamlined, and again, just a little bit easier. This forest in vanilla is I mean, not vanilla, I suppose this is vanilla, but in DE2 is a nightmare. But in here, it's just a leisurely walk. I'm just walking through the woods. I'm hunting for morel mushrooms right now, you guys. I didn't find any. See, it's a little too early in the season, I guess. So we're just going to take this staircase down, and we're going to go fight a boss. This boss is a haunted tree. I like to think of it as the same sort of tree as the Wizard of Oz that throws the apples at our heroes. If I park my happy little self right here, I don't have to worry about damage. The leaves won't hit me. One might, but typically they do not. And I can just pummel the tree to my heart's content. This is very much like boss rush the game. Is kind of how this one feels. There's little incentive to actually fighting enemies. There's little incentive to collecting items. There's almost no incentive to collecting items. So the only items that are good, like this guy has a lantern, and that lantern is necessary to progress in this next dungeon. Without the lantern, this maze is completely dark. So once I get the lantern, this maze, I am able to see where I'm going. And now it's just finding the right portals. This is kind of like in Dungeon Explorer 1, where you have staircases, the guessing game. This is Portals, the guessing game. Most of it's pretty straightforward. In most of these maps, there's only one portal that you have to take, but right here there's two. And this back one is the most convenient. These enemies, they're very, very slow. I pick up very few speed upgrades along the way. I'll take some later. But I take very few at the early part of the game. Right now, the big focus is to boost my attack power. And I'll get the next, I'd say, 7 or 8 upgrades to boost attack power. The rest are all going to be speed after that. Mostly to just make my character move quicker, or not even that. Not that. Of course, you're gonna make him move quicker. Mostly to save time, so the gems don't have to change color. That's what I meant to say. This next boss is gonna be the first moment where I take a planned death. So I am going to whittle my HP down just a little bit. Ideally, I want to take 2 deaths during this boss fight to set myself up for Death Warp later in this game. Yeah, these tracks in Crystal Beans are very, very good. That's one aspect of Dungeon Explorer 2 that I felt like they captured very, very well, is the music is still faithful to the original game. I'm going to take that death, and then we're going to... There we go. Perfect. 2 deaths. Take the blue crystal, and go. This is I'd say the most confusing part of the run when you're learning it, because you have to backtrack. Most of this game, when you get to the map screen, you hold right and you select. You're making progress. In this part, you have to backtrack, talk to this guy that you've already talked to, and then progress 4 more spaces forward. Again, it's just learning the game, but I know when I was picking this up just to like casually play through it first before I started running, I was not sure where I needed to go because the next area wouldn't open up. There is an English patch for this game, so that did help when when I played the English patch. Then I was like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. This one is Super Famicom. Yes, this one is Super Famicom. Dungeon Explorer 1 that I played just before this is PC Engine TurboGrafx 16, and Dungeon Explorer 2 is PC Engine CD. But this particular game, yes, this is Super Famicom. This is another dungeon where I will take some planned damage. Mostly, not so much from these enemies, but these like rolly spike bars, whatever. I can take them out with my attack. My attack in this game is interesting. So I have 2 different attacks. The one that you've seen is that sort of fireball, like I'm just throwing out right now. So there's that attack. I also have, I'll show it right now, that spin. The spin will counteract projectiles, but it was found when this game was being tasked out. Shoutouts to Vaughn for the task to this game and the previous world record holder. He found out that when you hold the Y and B buttons down simultaneously, then your attack basically becomes the power of each of those two attacks. So that's why some of these bosses, you'll see me just run into them and start throwing fireballs, and it looks like all I'm doing is throwing fireballs. In fact, I am holding down both attack buttons and hitting them with each of my attacks. Yeah, Crystal Beans is solid. Not as good as the rest of the series, but it is a solid game. I do enjoy it. I shouldn't be bad-mouthing it the way that I do, because I really do like this game. It's a lot of fun. Any excuse to play more Dungeon Explorer is fine to me, even the Sega CD version. No, I'm kidding. The Sega CD version is good. This section is just, you have to take out these 4 statues in sequence, and of course I missed the diagonal shot. You go counterclockwise from the bottom right all the way around your map, and then that door that is north from me right now disappears. So you take out those 4 statues. I think that one went away. Yes, it did. Then that door goes, and you're able to progress a little bit. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy some of these music tracks here right now. I keep talking over a lot of the music. The music is really, really great. I highly recommend, just for the music alone. So I'll let you guys listen for about 30 seconds here. Another quality of life addition, I suppose, to this particular version is on map screens. I don't have to exit the map or I don't have to exit the world, the town, whatever it is, to progress on the map. If you press X, then you just automatically go back to the map screen. So that's how you see me talking to NPCs. And then as soon as the dialogue box is over, I am automatically warped right back to the map screen. If you press X, it's an automatic warp. This boss that's coming up in this section, you will recognize from Dungeon Explorer 1. Those who were watching Dungeon Explorer 1 as well will recognize this. There's lots of enemies missing from this section of the map that make it so easy to walk through without taking any unplanned damage. But this guy looks familiar, huh? Cool. I took that death on purpose, so now I can whittle down the boss. I'm gonna take one more planned death. Alright, perfect. Now, I do not want to take a death, so I'm going to take this kind of careful. Perfect. That was nice. I'm going to park right where the gem is going to show up. So I pick it up as soon as it appears. And walk down the steps. But the reason I took those 2 deaths in the boss is because right here, we go Night at the Roxbury, and I take a planned game over. That will warp me. Well, apparently, your runner is learning something new today. If you press B during the run on the game over screen, the game restarts. Interesting. Well, that's fun, you guys. I don't know what you guys want to do about this. I'd be fine to go through it again, but that is going to be that's going to be a big rip from me. All right, I just got word I can start over. We're going to start over real quick. Cool. All right, let's try this out. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, baby. Yeah. New world record, guys. New world record. All right, we're going to try this again. So we're going to fly through these first couple stages. I pressed the wrong button. That is a me problem, you guys. That's a me problem. What I typically do in dialogue boxes is I hold B and mash A and X so that, as I mentioned before, once the dialogue box is over, then I'm automatically warped to the map screen. What I did in that section where I took the game over was a planned game over and unplanned restart, exactly. What I did was I held B, as I normally do, and started mashing. Well, holding B takes me all the way back to the menu screen, so that is not what you want to do. We have learned something together. Yeah, the game was way too over. I think Crystal Beans got tired of me bad-mouthing it and decided, this is what I'm going to do to you. This is for calling me a bad, watered-down port of Dungeon Explorer 2. We're going to ignore the B button. We're going to ignore the B button for a while, guys. That was not the place I wanted to go. We're going to go to the next map. Yeah. It's a new skip. That's exactly what it is. Whew, boy. Well, anyway, anyone that wants to pick up this game, I definitely would recommend not doing what I just did. It's alright, guys. It's fine. It's completely fine. It's completely fine. But we are going to avoid pressing the B button as much as possible. Alright. So you guys have seen this all before. We're going to make our way back through a lot of this section. I'm going to ignore that heart right there. I picked it up the first time, my first attempt, and we're going to ignore it this time. I don't take too much damage in this boss, so it's not... yeah, we get more rat jam. You guys can actually hear all the music now. Alright, we're going to take another attack power. Perfect. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure we're staying on schedule here. We're just trying to make sure we're on schedule. That's all. I was underestimate for Dungeon Explorer 1, so now Dungeon Explorer, the Crystal Beans, we can be a little overestimate. Alright. So again, we're back in this town. We're going to talk to our friend. Let's name our friend this time. How about, we're going to name this guy right here. We're going to name him Gordon. We're going to talk to Gordon. He's going to tell us about this haunted woods. He's going to tell us about this haunted woods. And we're going to tell him, you know what? That's a great idea. Let's go to this haunted woods. We're going to find that moonlight lantern, and we're going to take out the Minotaur. Yeah, it looks just like a Gordon. Looks just like a Gordon. This is good. This is good. Now we can name all of our NPCs, and it's fine. Yeah. All right. So back to the tree. The tree again, of course. We park ourselves to the right of the tree, and we just lay into it. Let one fireball go, and park there. Alright, so now we have fulfilled half our quest from Gordon. The other half, of course, being to take out the Minotaur. And that's why after we take out the Minotaur, we have to go back into town and tell Gordon, sir, your humble servant has returned, and we have brought back the head of the Minotaur. That's the lore that I'm going to... that's the lore that I'm going to put into this game. That is my own. Okay, see, we're right back on track, you guys. 5 minutes 5 minutes, we're back into the maze. We're gonna fight the Minotaur. It's no big deal. No big deal at all. No big deal. What is nice about this version is that Dungeon Explorer 2 by itself is, I mean, that's easily over an hour for the speedrun. If you're playing one of the, you know, the main characters from the start. If you use one of the password characters, it can be as short as about a half an hour. But the I'm talking myself into circles here. This run, I mean, we can get it done in under 40 minutes, no problem, as long as I don't press B again. 35 is my estimate because that is our PB is just a little over 32, and we can get even lower than that. 35 is no problem, but even first-time runners, by using the B and Y mechanic for attacks and following the progression, 40 minutes is nothing, and 35 is more than doable in your first couple of attempts. So I would even say that a 35-minute, like this estimate, is a good benchmark for getting your Crystal Beam license. All right, we're gonna do these planned deaths again. Keep your fingers crossed, and take out the Minotaur. No problem here, guys. No problem. I did get a white magic potion. We're not going to use it. We're not going to use it because I want to take this death. I'm going to do that. I'm going to wait for the Minotaur to pound his hammer so I don't pause in place. All right, we took an extra death. That's fine. We took an extra death, so that is fine. I just don't want to take too many in that metal centipede fight. Yes, first-time runners can be underestimated if you do not reset your run in the middle of it. Very, very true. All right, so we have fulfilled our quest to Gordon. He says, "Go forth, my son, even though you have died a couple times. I am disappointed in you, but this is good enough. This is good enough." I think that's the official translation for this game. We'll go into this castle. We'll talk to the king of this kingdom again, and that's how we start making our way forward into the tree and beyond. So the king directs us first to take out Mr. Spinner over here. This guy, I believe last time I took a planned death on this fight. So we're definitely gonna do a planned death on this fight, and hopefully just the one. Otherwise, the metal centipede fight is gonna be a little bit longer, but not too bad. Not too bad. I do have a white potion, so that actually might come in handy. I will probably pop that during the boss fight to ensure that I only take one death. So that should give me about a 30 to 40 HP refill while I'm taking damage in the boss, and that'll give me enough time to whittle the boss HP down and only take one death. So this is good, actually. The one instance right now, you guys are seeing it, where the white magic will be good enough. I will let you guys enjoy this track, though. I talked over it last time, but please, by all means. So good. Alright, we'll run into the boss. We'll let him attack us a couple times, then we'll pop the white potion. Perfect. Perfect. Now, that should be enough. We're just going to do it this way. Nice. We'll take an attack power. I can only take one death on the centipede, which is fine. Not ideal, just a little bit slower of a fight. And of course I missed the diagonal again. But it's not too bad. And then this time I'll make sure that I don't reset the game by pressing the wrong button. Alright, some intentional spike damage here. Cool. Now we go talk to our fairy friend in this temple, I suppose. I'm not really sure. Kind of reminds me of the temples from Secret of Mana. Talk to our fairy friend. They direct us to the tree that has an evil beast growing inside of it. That is the metal centipede. Actually, first, they direct us to the puppet village. The puppet village will then tell us how to get to the tree. Alright, perfect. Alright, now we're back in the tree. See, right back where we started from, guys. It's as though nothing ever happened. It's as though nothing ever happened. Yeah, don't grow evil beasts inside your trees, guys. Do not transport lumber across state lines. Yeah, the VOD of this run will look absolutely perfect. No mistakes at all. The people will be wondering why I keep bringing it up. We won't bring it up anymore. All right, we're back in the belly of the tree, the belly of the beast, as it were. So, all right, let this metal centipede form up. Perfect. All right. We're gonna hit him away a couple of times. Now is when I will take my planned death. Perfect. Okay, I'll take it right here. Set myself up. All right. Let's get some celebration ready in chat for when I don't mess this up. All right, Night at the Roxbury. Good. All right, ready? Ready? This is how it's supposed to happen. Continue. Yes. There we go. All right. We've made it through the tree. Yeah, GG. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Game over. Yeah, we have just seen tree percent. The next few bosses are actually really cool. And taken, I mean, all of these bosses are taken directly from Dungeon Explorer 2, but some of these boss designs are actually still loyal to Dungeon Explorer 2, whereas, you know, a lot of the other ones have been changed up. This guy is cool. He starts off big, you take him out, he gets smaller, throws out some buggies, and you have to take out all, like 10 or 12 of his smaller forms. And then he'll reappear. If I take a death here, that is fine. I have need to take at least one. So we're actually going to do this. There we go. And now he turns up here. I get the gem. We're going to get a couple of speed gems right now to make sure that I'm moving a little bit quicker. And then we'll go back to attack gems. This section of the game is a lot of fun, but oops, I didn't mean to go back down. In Dungeon Explorer 2, this particular section is an absolute nightmare. First of all, these guys hit like trucks. These little slimes, they hit so hard. And much like Dungeon Explorer 1, in 2, you don't want to take deaths because it does ruin your stats. In this game, it doesn't matter. Your stats are fixed. Not only that, but they will drop an item that is... It sounds like it would be very helpful. It's a mirror. If you pick up the mirror, then your shots ricochet. And you think to yourself, that's great. Then I can just, you know, if I miss the enemy, then my shot will bounce off a wall, it'll come back, it'll eventually hit him. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is you can only have 2 of your weapon sprites on the screen at the same time. So if you have 2 sprites bouncing around the entire screen, then you're hitting absolutely nothing. I tried to one-cycle it. It is possible, very difficult. Can we get orbs in chat, guys? We just took out the orb here. But yeah, that particular sequence is a nightmare in Dungeon Explorer 2. So that's one that I'm very happy that they've changed up and made a little bit easier in Crystal Beans. We'll get some attack power here. Another very nice change between the 2 versions is in this one there is, as far as I can tell, I have yet to see a poison mechanic like what we have in Dungeon Explorer 1 and 2. So that's a very welcome change because the poison mechanic is just awful. Just awful. Now we talk to this tower's brain. And it's just telling us about the remaining monsters that we have yet to fight. In Dungeon Explorer 2, I believe it's some sort of like a centralized computer, and in this it's just a giant brain floating in Bacta. Alright, best track of the game. I'm gonna shut up for 2 seconds. Oh my gosh, come on. Alright, I am taking planned damage here. I didn't want to take that death particularly at that point, but I couldn't squeeze by those 2 enemies, apparently. So this is a little tighter than I want to see at this point. It's not bad. I just have to be a little bit more careful in this fight. I don't want to take a death in this particular fight. Perfect. To my knowledge, this is going to be another planned death. It is just faster to do this than it is to find my way out of this area. Alright, another game over. Let's use the right button. There we go. There we go. To my knowledge, that track that we just heard is the only track that is common to Dungeon Explorer 1, 2, and this game. I believe that's accurate. I don't believe that it made it to the Sega CD version. This stage is kind of cool. In the lore, it's just a castle that had been taken over by a Cyclops-like creature, and then you get transported elsewhere. But you'll see. I'm not going to spoil it for you. It's a neat location, and the location that comes after this is actually an optional location in Dungeon Explorer 2. So it's nice to actually see it in this game. Again, one of those really nice changes between the two versions. A welcome change. So here's the Cyclops. Run into him, do damage, get the gem, and leave. This is the optional area. This is a haunted mansion. You do not see this in most Dungeon Explorer 2 speedruns. If you're doing an all bosses run, or like a pseudo 100% run, which is fun for some, it is a very long run. It's a few hours. It's 2 to 3 hours for sure. But this is an area that you would see in the run, and is the only area that I can think of off the top of my head that the boss is correct between the two versions, between this and Dungeon Explorer 2, aside from the end, the last couple bosses of the game. There's very few bosses that are actually in their proper arenas. We're going to go back into this castle because there's an NPC that we have to talk to. Again, that's another thing where if you can't read the Japanese text or you don't have the English translation, you would not know where you're going. So you have to come back in here, you have to talk to this guy. This guy will give you the gas mask right there. And the gas mask will allow me to make progress in the next area that I'm going to. I should have taken a little bit of damage off of these enemies, which is, it's not bad. I will have to take some damage on my path here. We're actually going to do that. We're going to run into that. That's that same sort of fire enemy that I mentioned in Dungeon Explorer 1. They do significantly less damage in this game, but still quite a bit of damage. And if you're not careful, they will kill you. Now, I am taking this intentionally because I want to take a death on this next fight. So I'm setting myself up right here. We'll do this, get up in his hitbox, and now he's dead. My attack power looks like it's just about where I want it for the rest of the game, so I think most of the rest of these crystals are going to be speed crystals. They're going to be agility. I will probably get one more attack power. It'll just help me take out the final boss a little bit quicker. But for the most part, like, you can complete this game right now just getting agility. You'll just move faster. You'll do a little less damage, but you'll move faster. We're going to do this, get these rocks started, get them out of my way. Again, I'm going to take some damage on them. Some more of those flames are coming, and I'm going to take, not on that one, I'm going to let it, there should be one or two coming up over here that I will try to take some damage from. If not, that's fine. I'll just, I'll take a few extra hits on this boss. Okay, RNG does not favor me right now, so that's fine. I'll just stay in this boss's hitbox for a little while longer. This is the game itself. Yeah, this is the game itself. So, it is a Super Famicom game. It's kind of a port, I guess. We're gonna do speed. It's a port light. We're gonna let 2 enemies spawn out of here, and we're gonna do this. Come on. Oh man. They just don't want to, like, attack me at the same time. Alright, the game over boss. Hardest boss in the game. We did it. Really nice. Really, really nice. there's just a few more of these. This actually might be the last one. These little like town maps with the NPCs that you have to talk to. I think this is the last one. There we go. Yes, another intentional death. There's 3 or I think that's the 3rd one, and I believe that's the no. There's one more. One more instance of an intentional game over. And all that does, you'll see at the bottom of the screen. Excuse me. You'll see at the bottom of the screen there, where it says crystal beans. Directly above that are 5, yellow gems, yellow markers, yellow something. That indicates how many lives I have. That runs out, you get a game over. So the game overs for this point of the game are more to spawn me back at a point that is convenient for transportation. There's one game over at the end of the game. Yeah, they're yellow beans, exactly. There's one game over right near the end of the game that I take that is literally just to give me a full allotment of lives again. So I have 5 lives just in case something goes wrong. I'm good to go. Oh, I was wrong. There is one more of these. This is a very cool dungeon, fairly faithful to the original in Dungeon Explorer 2. Oops, I took the wrong turn there. Fairly faithful to the original. This is a tough as nails dungeon, particularly in the original version. But this, even in this one, it's pretty tough, and you can get surrounded by enemies pretty quickly. We're going to try to avoid most monster layers so that does not happen, and take them out quickly with preemptive shots like such. We just walk over spikes because we don't care. We don't care. Take out this guy. I want to take out this one before it spawns anything. That's not so much a damage save. That's more of a time save. So, rip a couple of seconds. This boss is kind of neat. Just a giant lobster. Giant lobster. We're going to go right into his hitbox, take a death, and we're just going to wheel him down to death. Ooh, I did not want to take that second death. Interesting. I am a doggo. For some reason, the monk class in this game is a wolf or a dog. Not sure why. That is a change between this game and DE2, but I'm not here to question it. It's just the most powerful and fastest default character. Alright, I do have a white magic now, so that's actually very, very good. I took 1 too many deaths, and that scares me a little bit, but having that white potion is nice. It is a rock lobster. That is exactly what I named it in my splits. It is, my headcanon is, it's a rock lobster. Alright, there's that. We have, I think, 4 bosses remaining in this game. Not a default character. I mean, it's one of 9 characters you can choose from at the start of the game. So, default, I'm not sure what else to call it, but it is one of the characters you can choose. Okay, that was really good. I did not take a death. I will take a death on this next boss, who might be a little bit familiar to you if you just watched the Dungeon Explorer 1 run. Look, he's back. Natas is back. He has a different name in this game. I don't remember what the name is that they gave him in this. I want to get in here and take some damage and a death. Thank you. Perfect. All right. Now we have collected our 15 gems. We're going back. These are the, 8 characters, not 9. So these are the 8 characters you can choose from. Fighter, dwarf, mage, monk, you know, the typical D&D classes. So there's our crystal bean. No, I don't think it is Refisol, but that is a pretty... I honestly don't remember. I don't remember in this particular... Like the Crystal Beans lore, I don't remember what his name is, but it is different. So this is the final... this is the final area. We're going to take an intentional death right here that I mentioned before. And now I get a full allotment of... I get a full allotment of lives. I want to make sure that I'm killing off those like electric orbs before they hit me while I'm walking on this. These floors, they're not slick per se, but they act like conveyor belts, and that's just a frustrating Dungeon Explorer mechanic that happens in all of the games, is that some of the floors just act like a conveyor belt, but you're not sure what they are, because there's no like differentiator in the sprite or in the tile set. There's nothing, so you just have to know. Super frustrating. This crystal dungeon is very, very difficult. It's very difficult in DE2, and it's pretty tough in in Crystal Beans if you get yourself surrounded by these enemies. Again, this room is all conveyor belts, and you just have to find the right way to go. It is all conveyor belts. It's such a frustrating room. One change that's kind of sad is this room right here. This room in TurboGrafx CD Dungeon Explorer 2 is a boss rush room. Each of those tiles is a boss you've already fought. In this, it's just a teleporter and nothing else. I really wish they would have kept it as a boss rush. It feels much better as a boss rush, but you know, I don't know what the decision was. Maybe a technical limitation, something like that. I'm not sure. All I know is that it doesn't exist. Am I going to survive this? I have 1 HP. As long as I'm not getting hit by something, I survived that fight. Wow. Okay. We are on to the last boss. So this last boss has 2 phases. First is kind of the Ren and Stimpy boss legs. That's what I like to think of them as. You know how in some of those episodes you have the adults and all you see are their legs, and it's really kind of weird and awkward and funny. So that's this part of the boss. I'm gonna let some of these flames hit me to reduce lag. But all this is just waiting for the legs to walk and open up a path for me. There's my path. I take the teleporter, and we are finally at the last boss right here, guys. I'm hoping that he just parks himself right here and doesn't move too much. Right now, it'd be super cool. He kind of walked away, so he's not very cash money right now. All I do is I sit here and I blast him in the head. All right, that's phase 1. Phase 2, actually. Phase 3 is zombie boss. Again, I just park here and hit him in the head. He's actually being super cool right now. If he stays here, then my projectiles don't have to travel as far. Just makes the fight a little bit quicker. Yeah, he's being real cool right now. I am taking some deaths. These are, I mean, it's not necessarily intentional, but it is planned. Like, these just happen. I just park myself here and I let, you know, whatever happens, happens. I have plenty of lives to get through this. He just lost arm number 1. As soon as he loses arm number 2, all I gotta do is shoot him in the head, and the rest of the fight is basically free. So right now, it's just shooting him in the head till he dies. We're about to end Crystal Beans and Dungeon Explorer block. So thank you guys, that's time. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Apologies for my first attempt being what it was and accidentally quitting the game out. But that's Crystal Beans. It is a worthwhile game to try to to try to get into, especially if you're not quite, like if you've tried Dungeon Explorer 2 and it is too difficult, then this is a good game to kind of whet your, whet your appetite a little bit. I highly recommend it. There's not many people on the board. I'm very clearly underestimate, yes. But anyway, I'm not going to ramble on too long. Thank you guys very much for popping in. Thanks to the BKKC, all of the chatters in here. Love y'all. It's been great. If you like what you see, follow me. I stream periodically, and we'll just do more of this. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Enjoy Star Wars Dark Forces.